Restoration work continues following Russian strikes. Unfortunately, there are new hits every night. Russia's main target remains unchanged: our energy sector. As well as sending weapons, Poland has launched a unique public fundraiser to help Ukraine endure the war, focusing on heat and electricity during winter. Polish citizens have reportedly raised about $660,000 to buy generators for Ukraine, aiming to help families and services survive the biting cold. A volunteer fundraising platform called Warmth from Poland for Kyiv collected the money specifically for emergency power equipment, turning solidarity into supplies. Organizers initially set a goal of just $110,000 for generators, but donations quickly surged far beyond the target as support poured in. The campaign aims to purchase and deliver power generators for Kyiv's critical infrastructure, especially where blackout risks can become life-threatening. The funds are expected to provide generators for medical facilities, crisis centers, and public shelters, helping essential services keep functioning through outages. Ukraine's ambassador to Poland welcomed the fundraising drive as a timely show of support, highlighting how urgent Kyiv's power needs have become. Ambassador Vasyl Bodnar called the Polish aid important amid Ukraine's energy crisis, according to the Kyiv Independent, as winter pressure intensifies. Russia has been hammering Ukraine's energy infrastructure for months, triggering a power crisis that worsens each time temperatures drop. Reported Russian strikes on power facilities have coincided with what Ukraine describes as its harshest winter conditions since the war began, compounding damage with cold. Kyiv declared a state of emergency on January 14 as temperatures fell to around -15 degrees Celsius, pushing heating and electricity systems toward breaking point. Ukrainian officials have described Kyiv's energy situation as extremely serious, warning that outages can quickly become a public safety crisis. On January 17 to 18, Russia launched a massive overnight assault on Ukraine using more than 200 drones, according to Ukrainian reporting on the strikes. On January 18, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the Sumy, Kharkiv, Dnipro, Zaporizhzhia, and Odessa regions were affected, showing the scale of the impact. Zelensky also said repair crews are working around the clock to restore electricity, as teams race to fix grids and generation sites under continuing threat. He argued Russia should focus on diplomacy rather than targeting Ukraine's energy sector, saying blackouts and attacks on critical infrastructure undermine peace efforts. There were reports today from our delegation in the United States. Rustem Umerov briefed on meetings with representatives of President Trump. Several rounds of negotiations have already taken place, and work is underway on the documents needed to end the war. It is important that the Ukrainian team fully informs the American side about what is happening in Ukraine and about Russia's constant strikes on our energy system. If the Russians truly and seriously wanted to end the war, they would focus on diplomacy rather than missile attacks, blackouts, and attempts to cause damage even to our nuclear power plants. We have data on the facilities that Russia has conducted reconnaissance in preparation for strikes. Everything clearly shows that diplomacy is definitely not a priority for Russia. This must be acknowledged. Pressure must continue on the aggressor and on the real cause of this war. The cause is in Moscow. This week, we will work to increase such pressure and to ensure a clear global position on Russia. Restoration work continues following Russian strikes. Unfortunately, there are new hits every night. Russia's main target remains unchanged: our energy sector. In effect, almost 58,000 people are working around the clock, solely in repair crews on power grids, generation facilities, and heating networks. Resources from Ukrainian railways and other state-owned companies have been mobilized. For Kyiv, where the situation is very difficult, an additional 50 crews from across the country have been deployed. There are still buildings without heating. Russian strikes on energy facilities come as Ukraine holds multiple rounds of talks with US representatives, linking battlefield pressure with diplomatic timelines. There are also reports that President Trump may meet Volodymyr Zelensky at the Davos World Economic Forum, adding another potential channel for negotiations.